Alright. We're good? We're good. Back into it. My controller feels weirdly wet. My hands. Weird. Not sure how my hands are wet. That's unpleasant. Oh, excuse me. Recently decided to add this song to my tunes playlist that I listen to while driving to school. Well, and home from school. When driving in general, actually. Don't know why I just said to school. It's a Spotify playlist. Got the family plan with Spotify Premium, so it's like, well, now I have to use it. But I've got a good selection of music. Today's video probably gonna be longer than the last one, which was 7 minutes. I'm still shocked that I managed to play so well that I made progress in 7 minutes. I was just locked in. This week does feel like it's going to be a good week for it with... Ooh, too long. Getting to play some Celeste here and there. The future holds. I cannot be certain. But this week, I did pretty darn good on getting my stuff done early, which feels damn good. There was no... My math class had, you know, discussion post for weeks 1 and 2, which was, you know, typical. Sort of, like, get to know you post for, like, your discussion groups. Yeah, okay. Ooh, damn. Need to be fast on that one. Okay. That makes things tricky. But it's... Then, you know, weeks 3 and 4 had a discussion post thing about, like, you know, over the course of the 2 weeks as a group, making and refining a graph of sorts. And there were really well outlined, like, discussion guidelines and, you know, how it's gonna work in 2-week cycles and yada yada. And then there's no more discussion posts after week 3 and 4, which is just baffling to me. Like, oh, okay, so this class is just the homework and the quizzes, which feels unusual, feels peculiar. But, you know, we take those, absolutely. Like, I'm not going to complain about that, for sure. This week I had some trouble on the homework, mostly because I misread what sections of the textbook I was meant to be reading. It's meant to be sections 3.3, 4.1, and 5.5. But I was reading 3.3, 4.4, and 5.1, which, you know, I was only getting about a third of the concepts that I needed to know homework. even once I did figure out, like, oh yes, this is what I'm supposed to be reading, still didn't feel like a fully connected set of ideas to me, you know? It's like, okay, this is a few different things, it feels like. It feels like this is, like, the sort of bad batch, so to speak. The oddballs. And they were just all thrown into a unit together. It's kind of yeah, why not? But I think I figured it out well enough, you know, all the stuff. I'll see once the homework is fully graded, because the auto grader just fully does not work. Completely unreliable, the auto grader is. You know, so I gotta wait for the teacher to manually grade it to see how well I did. Hopefully I did decent. You know, didn't get the 85 out of 155 that the auto grader gave me. Hopefully I did a little better than that. Ah, scheiße. Oh, they did a little better than that. And you know, if I didn't, that's not a huge deal. The main grades in the class come from the quizzes. Ooh. I was too slow on jumping there. I'm playing sloppy today. Happens. It happens. Ooh, Sam. Woo. Recovered. The run is alive. Yeah. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Planning to, later today, do a live stream of Balatro. And once I get this video uploaded, I'm gonna look into monetization on YouTube. Not because I don't really expect to do well enough that I can make a job out of this, of course. You know, because, I mean, let's be real here. I'm not exactly the type. I'm not a content creator. I'm not a YouTubist. A tuber. I'm not Strimmer. That simply could not be me. I see the analytics and I say, buddy, those are numbers. And I don't know what to do with them. And quite frankly, I don't want to, because, like, you know, every content creator talks about, like, oh yeah, the YouTube analytics, if you pay attention to them, it just gives you anxiety. It's like, okay, well, I simply shall not pay attention then. Like, I'm making, you know, these Celeste videos entirely for myself. Other people enjoy them. Fantastic. Good for you. I'm glad you're having fun. Or at least, you know, enjoying this is second monitor content. Maybe third monitor content, quite frankly. Is that a thing? Third monitor content? New genre of content just dropped. Third monitor content. It's something you put on your third monitor, mute it. You listen to the second player monitor content and, like, are, you know, occasionally, like, paying attention to that video when it gets interesting. First monitor, you're playing a game. You know, something that you can pause every now and then, you know, like between rounds and such when you want to watch the second monitor content. third monitor content, that's basically, you know, you're being an iPad baby about it. That's just pretty colors. You know, you don't need the sounds of that. Maybe you actually watch the third monitor content when you're real bored, you got nothing else to watch. You're like, okay, let's. You don't feel like playing anything. You're like, okay, let's turn the sound on the third monitor content and actually give this a whirl. It's okay. You know, it's not a masterpiece, but it's okay. I did it. I invented the genre of third monitor content, aka just, you know, a mediocre video, really. You know what I've invented? The sitcom. Third monitor content is sitcoms. Or at least, like, the classical definition of a sitcom. You know, something... Is it a sitcom or a soap opera? It's a sitcom. Something that you're... Like, yeah, maybe there's something long running here, but you can drop in the middle, and you're fine enough, you know? It's not exactly... No, actually, I take that back. It's the MCU? I don't think it is, because the MCU very much does rely upon you having seen all of it, you know? Or at least it wants you to have seen all of it. Man, am I gonna be spending this? Yeah, you know what? Let's fucking get into it. I have fallen out of love with the MCU, or not even out of love. You know, I mean, it was I enjoyed it at a kid at the age when I was the age where I didn't really look at media through a critical sort of lens. And really, like, get down to the roots of something and figure out, you know, I enjoy this, and here's why I enjoy this. Here's what I think is good about this. That's the age I was when I enjoyed the MCU. And, you know, the time when I started getting old enough that I was a video essay watcher and such. I think the first media that I enjoyed, in part because of, like, the themes and such, that I remember. There might be others that I just don't remember off the top of my head, but that I remember is Undertale. And, you know, that shows, if any of you know about my tunes playlist here on YouTube, it's about 800 songs, and it is mostly Undertale music created by fans. You can see, like, in real time, you know, like, you can see on there, like, oh, this is when she got the Kingdom Hearts hyperfixation. In Kingdom Hearts, I do like for the themes in it. I do also like it because it is something that is, in a way, deeply unserious, but it takes itself so seriously. I need to feed my dog, so I guess I'll pause the game and keep yapping at you while I do that. Because I got wireless headphones, so you can just hear me chit-chat all day while I grab the green bean. Oh yeah, the dog needs green beans. Vet said so. One scoop green beans, 1 scoop dog food. They're 2 different sizes of scoop. I don't remember what sort of scoop they are. I checked, but it's, you know, it's the old measuring cups we have, you know, that is, like, a few of them went missing, and, like, our dog we had before, like, chewed on the handle of one of them, and so it's all, like, torn up. And they've got some stains on them that never come out, and the labels have washed off. So you don't really know, like, unless you, like, thumb over the bottom side, where it has the label of, like, how much it is, like, written, or you don't even need to thumb over it really. It's like, you know, because it's there, you can read it. I just did that on the one for the green beans. It's a third a cup of green beans for the little man, the little criminal. Oh, he's heard me getting him his green beans, and now he's standing up and squeaking his toy because he's excited, because he wants his lunch. He can hear me talking, and I think he thinks I'm talking to him. I'm not. But yeah, the MCU. You know, when I first enjoyed it, started liking it, I was not at the age where I appreciated something for the themes of the movie, really. I just, you know, enjoyed them. It's hard to explain the sort of way that you enjoy a movie as a kid. Because, like, when a movie's bad as a kid, you can tell, like, that was a bad movie sometimes. But, like, sometimes you do enjoy a bad movie as a kid, because it is, something can be both entertaining and bad. And I'm not saying the MCU falls into that category, but it's not something I would enjoy in the way I enjoyed it as a kid now. You know? Like, I liked it more as a kid than I do now, and as I got older, you know, I started appreciating things for their themes and such. And that enhanced my enjoyment of things, and the MCU didn't get that enhancement, but it was still enjoyable because, you know, overall, there was, like, it made sense. It was a good story. It was fairly well told. You know, there was, like, Age of Ultron's in there. Not the best movie. Like, you know, there's issues with that movie. People have said it more, what's the word, eloquently than I could ever hope to. But I still enjoyed that movie as a kid. I can still enjoy it now. Because, like, you know, the characters, as they're presented, they make enough sense as you're watching it. And when you get down to nitty gritty, maybe they don't. But that's fine. It's fine. Because when you're watching it, you're not thinking about the nitty gritty. You don't notice that necessarily, because you're more focused on the action, the romp. If I wasn't careful, I'd... No, while I got the game paused, I'm gonna check my Discord notifications. Cause, I mean, you know. Why not? I've already paused the game. So why not? Yeah, there we go. Alright, in a little bit here, the dog's gonna come up and whine at me because he's gonna want a treat, but we can do more Celeste gameplay in the meantime. On a macro level, on what you're noticing during the movie, the characters make enough sense. You know, at least they do for me. You know, my brain isn't, when I watch Age of Ultron, it's not necessarily in a mode where I'm noticing any character issues that may exist within that movie. Okay, hi. Like, the one I can think of off the top of my head is Hawkeye's weird rivalry with Quicksilver. You know, like... Hold on, I'm making the dog stand on his hind legs to earn a treat. Good boy. He held that for a fair bit. I'm proud of him. You know, like, that's a child. Why are you beefing with a child? Why are you beefing with a child? And you know, there's the moment where, like, he's alone and he's like, I could shoot him, no one would know. It's like, why are you saying that, man? That's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, as far as he knows he's alone, that doesn't work as a joke to himself, really. No one, I mean, it's not really how it goes, you know? People don't make jokes like that in real life. That's like one of the few nitpicks I could have off the top of my head. There are others, but that's one of the few. I say there are others because I remember there being others in a video essay I watched. Do I remember them off the top of my head? No. They're not things that I'd really maybe notice during the movie and like think about in other movies and be like, hey, wait a minute. You know, this thing that happened in this movie, I mean, Black Widow, how she's treated in the movie, but that's kind of, you know, her across the entire MCU, which is not great. Getting closer there, that was good. Oh, shoot. My brain's like, okay, time to lock in when the music gets moving like this. But you get my Marvel movies have flaws. Generally, though, it's passable. You know, it's not something you're gonna notice unless you're thinking critically about it. Which, you know, some movies you think critically about them, it enhances your enjoyment. Other movies, you think critically about them, and you find more reasons to dislike them. To other movies, you don't think critically about them because that would harm your enjoyment in a way. And, you know, it could be you think critically about it and you're like, that was an interesting thought exercise, but I prefer the version of the movie that happens when I don't think too hard about it. And there are other movies still, that when you first watch them, you're like, that seemed good, but it left a bit of a weird taste in my mouth. And then you think critically about it, and you're like, right. And the MCU kind of started having some of those at Endgame. Starting with Endgame, because, like, you know, again, other people have put this more eloquently than I could ever hope to. There's a entire YouTube channel. The profile picture of the channel is forward-facing Phineas. The name of the channel is just the Endgame vid, that's it. And it's a vid on Endgame, just kind of detailing, you know, some issues with the movie. And there are other issues not mentioned in that video that I've heard mentioned in other places that are like valid issues to have with the movie. So, Endgame's not perfect, but you know, it's not perfect, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, it felt good in some ways and like a fumble in others. It'll depend on how the MCU moves forward from here, if that's fine, because there are other MCU movies that I think, if you look at them, they're like, yeah, it's good in some ways and a fumble in others. Depends on how the MCU moves forward from here. And you know, before Endgame, the MCU was handling itself fine. I mean, no one was talking about, you know, this movie, you know, represents the downturn of the MCU. Everything after this has been kind of in one way or another, except for Endgame, which isn't ideal, you know. like, No Way Home is, you know, I have issues with No Way Home. I had a great time with it in the theaters, but it doesn't feel like a movie that I want to rewatch, in a way. Like, it's got, you know, and, you know, they did this whole thing of implying that the Spider-Man of the MCU had gotten the with great power comes great responsibility already. You know, they skipped past the best death of Uncle Ben. And then it was like, no, actually, we're doing it with Uncle May. Transmask Uncle May. Anyways, we're doing it with Aunt May, and now he's just on his own. You know, it felt like they were a little bit like, you know what, if we want to tell proper Spider-Man stories, we need to get him into the usual Spider-Man place. And they also wanted to do crossovers with the 2 Sony Spider-Mans that had been live action, that they could do that with. And I just, you know, I feel like there were better ways to do it. And like, Doctor Strange wouldn't have fucking done that. Peter Parker wouldn't have fucking done that. Neither of both. It feels like idiot plot a little bit, which isn't good. Which isn't good. What else is there? I don't know. The main, like, I had issues with No Way Home that I kind of only, you know, my issues with No Way Home, I realized them in retrospect, and it was, again, a case of, yeah, okay, but it's, if this is where this is left off, I think they can do good things going forward. Were there, you know, things in this movie that I think were missteps? Sure. But it'll depend on how the MCU goes going forward. And, you know, I'm trying to think what else has there genuinely been. The Ant-Man movie that was trying to set up for Kang, but now they're not doing Kang. So that movie's just kind of there now. And it, like, using Ant-Man to set up for Kang, I think, was a bad idea, because Kang's supposed to be a very serious villain. The Ant-Man is more comedic in tone. So I think that just didn't, you know, I feel like, I don't know who else they could have used to set up for Kang, but I don't think Ant-Man was the way to go. Maybe they could have done like a Ghost solo movie. I don't know how she ended up in Quantum Realm. Maybe just don't put him in Quantum Realm, you know? Maybe like, oh, she phased into some kind of space between worlds and Kang was there instead of Quantum Realm. That'd be great. I think that'd work. And Ghost is, you know, in Ant-Man and the Wasp. She was a character who was she was, you know, an antagonist in that movie. She had fairly serious tone as a character. She had weight to her, and she just kind of is gone now. But I think, yeah, she would have worked better. I don't know. I'm kind of just riffing here. There's Eternals. I liked it. I don't have any complaints about Eternals, actually. I like that one. I mean, you know, the giant hand made of marble that sprung up in the middle of the ocean, I think they could have orchestrated better to make sure that was, like, at least mentioned, like, in the background, like, you know, like, show a news broadcast of, like, someone talking about, like, I don't know, you know, 2 nations, maybe made up ones, still debating over who gets to use the land on the giant marble statue. Like, yeah, you know, just something. I keep moving too much in that section. I don't know why I'm doing that. But, you know, that wasn't possible because of the sort of way they're going about making the movies and the shows and such, where they're very closed off from each other. So there were people already making scripts of movies that took place after Eternals, I'm sure, before Eternals was even finished shooting, and or maybe even finished with rewrites, you know? I don't know. Damn. Come on. Black Widow movie, that's one that existed. Again, I think that movie does well enough. It should have been done before Endgame. It should have been done a long time ago. And, you know, Black Widow did not deserve to have her movie that was, you know, finally her movie, practically the, oh, this is just setting up new characters, including a character who seems to essentially be the, you know, this is our replacement for Black Widow now, but she's like a little more morally gray, because, yeah, that doesn't feel great. Shoot. And then we get to the thing that kind of, or there's the shows, because we could mention those and my thoughts on those. I don't know why this is what I'm talking about, by the way. I'm just rambling, because I don't know. I'm in a rambly mood, which is weird because I slept bad last night and I expect to be kind of in the opposite sort of mood. But no, I've been kind of weirdly high energy today. Oh wait, happy Halloween. Oh shit. Granny? This is like the start of farewell. Hey, what? There's no lightning this time. Dang, if only I died one last time. Well, I guess next time I'll be doing, Coursey side. Might as well start off now. Oh, you're teaching me the wave dash. Huh. Yeah, that'll be next time. I'm a bit shaken, as you can't tell. Have a good Halloween, everyone. So that's all.